On November 15th, 1943, a special commando escorted $6 million in gold. The convoy left in the direction of Alaguat Harbor. You agree that's a lot of money.
You're listening to Moviesucktastic.
Stop! Stop! Man, it's me!
It all sounds like some bad movie.
So right now we're into the
movie challenges.
This is where Joey and I try to hurt each other.
Yeah, and we're pretty successful with this.
This is pretty much the I bet you I can hit you harder than you can hit me challenge.
Yeah,
except when
absolutely.
it comes to films. Now, I thought originally when we did this first challenge that you had one hands down.
Yeah.
Now, it might be a tie. I don't know.
You know what? The movie that you challenged me with, I really hated. So
Really? I didn't think you hated that much.
No, I really did.
All right. Well,
I have a lot of problems with this movie.
Let's start off with your challenge first. Your challenge, my challenge to you. Let's start off with that first because I gave yours first.
Okay.
My challenge to Joey was the 1983.
81.
So this was my challenge to you was Oasis of the Zombies.
Yep, 1981. Written and directed by Jesus Franco.
Usually Jess Franco.
Or Jess Franco, which was what they described him as.
Who's the man who gave us? What film did he gave us? Vampiros Lesbos.
That's right.
Yes.
Yeah. And I had a lot of problems with this movie actually.
Well, all right. Now
it's a bad zombie movie. I mean, it's a really, really bad zombie movie.
And this is a Nazi zombie film.
It is a Nazi zombie movie. I would have preferred to have seen it in original French dialogue with subtitles than English dub.
You're a braver man than me.
Well, I'm telling you, only because I think, back then, I mean, this is only
the translation. They usually change stuff around.
It's not even that so much.
So
they added in dialogue.
How do you want to start talking about Ways of the Zombies? What's your first impression?
My first impression was I was amazed that it was even letterbox. That it was actually a widescreen format. It's only an hour and 22 minutes, and
it really felt
like a long hour and 22 minutes. I will say this: it had that. It actually had that Cannibal Holocaust feel to it. It just, not that that's another good movie, but I'm just saying a lot of those movies were filmed that way. The way the camera that they used.
Low budget foreign films.
Yeah. Yeah. No, exactly. It felt a lot like Cannibal Holocaust for whatever reason.
There's a Cannibal Holocaust feel.
I'll tell you what I did like. The original movie poster.
Oh yeah.
It's a sign of the times, you know. Yeah. It's like a lot of them look that way, but it's just a classic.
I'll give you that.
Horror movie poster.
Yeah.
I would probably hang that on my wall as long as nobody asked me if I liked it or
not. Now, Oasis of the Zombies has your classic opening: two busty girls in short shorts stumbling upon
you know what?
Nazi
Part of my notes
what do you got?
Is never pass up a way to put a woman in scantily clad clothes and focus on their ass.
Oh no, that one camera shot, literally, there's dialogue going, but
absolutely.
I thought their asses were talking for the first minute, because it's following their asses.
Yeah, exactly.
Are we lost? I don't think
How
so.
they never pass up a chance to do that. Yeah. Ever in those types of movies. And it's another, old.
And the problem
not even that old. It's 1980.
The problem is it's a false beginning because I was excited. It's like, oh, good, I get to watch these half-naked girls run around for the whole film.
Right.
They get killed in the first 5 minutes, and then we have to deal with these other idiots for the whole movie.
And what the hell?
How did they get out there?
Well, one, how did they get out there? And two, if you notice, they focus on the Nazi symbol that's as clear as day. They have it on part of the rubble that's
Yeah.
semi-covered by
Right.
brush and
Because you can't
old-
cover Nazi symbols.
No, ever.
It's the opposite of Raiders of the Lost
But
Ark. If you try to put bushes over a
here's
Nazi
something
symbol,
that happened
the bushes burn.
a lot through the movie when they actually finally showed zombies, which was nearly halfway through the movie.
Yeah.
You don't see a zombie until almost halfway through the movie.
Half-hour intervals between zombie attacks. A bold approach to zombie film.
Well, you know what? It's like a Jaws effect where they're trying to hide the monster, and it's just not working. It worked in Jaws.
It worked in Jaws because Jaws had a monster.
No, you're right. And the thing is,
Here's a note for you, kiddies.
All right.
When producing a zombie film, be sure to pencil some money in for makeup into your budget proposal.
Yeah.
Not just, well, you know what? Just rub sand on their faces and put ping pong balls over to one guy's eyes.
Or every other zombie has a live worm, moving around on it.
Live worms cost money.
Yeah.
That's where half the budget went right there.
You're probably right.
I got my plot synopsis for Oasis. You want to hear it?
Well, the one thing I was going to mention before
sorry.
you did that.
No.
Real quick.
Yes.
Because I didn't see it, and I didn't see an explanation for it. Well, why did they focus on a spider and a spider web every time there was a zombie attack?
The first time I saw that, I thought it was a glowing eye.
I did too for a split second.
Yeah.
I'll agree with that. But then I said, wait a minute, that's just a spider and a web.
Could this be Jesse Franco's attempt at metaphors along the lines of a pinball machine?
Or the fact that a spider creeps on its prey
No,
when it gets caught in its web.
I think it was. I think the whole idea is the Oasis was the web. That's the whole point. He's trying to.
I guess.
Give the guy some credit. Look what he's working with here. Just let him have a little bit of play. So you know what I'm doing here is artistically speaking. Yes, Jess.
We got it.
Yes, I know. That's
All
good.
right, yeah.
Does the girl get naked again? Are there titties? Yes. And so more thoughts? Oh no, my synopsis is
let's hear your synopsis.
4 teenagers, 4 Nazi treasure hunters, and 4 filmmakers convene on an oasis guarded by Nazi zombie soldiers. Hilarity ensues. That's really it.
That's really it?
That's my synopsis.
That's really it.
That's all you need to know.
You know what I thought was the one character that and I don't remember his name.
The Saudi prince.
No, the guy that actually
That man rocks a mustache. I tell you.
He didn't start the movie with a mustache either.
No, well, that's how you age
The
a guy.
flashback stuff was so poorly done. I didn't know it was a flashback. At one point,
really,
I
knew that part.
Well, yeah, and maybe I wasn't. I don't want to say I wasn't paying attention, but I'm watching the movie, and the one character visits. They both have mustaches, but the only way I can describe him is if Chuck Norris and Charles Bronson had a child. This would be the product.
Oh, see, I thought,
he goes to go get this map from this person that used to be his friend, and it looked like he just stabbed him with a pen and just did the clicker on the pen.
Yeah,
where he's like click, 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 click.
Obviously a poison thing.
Wait, was it made to look like a pen or was it a syringe? I mean,
I think they're going on the knowledge that all Nazis carry around poison-filled pen syringes. Yeah. Well, a Nazi double-crossed this guy. Who'd have thunk it? the fact that he had a look of surprise in his face when his Nazi compatriot double-crossed him.
Right.
Like, all right, you just deserve to die now.
Hey, you know what? I'll tell you what. When he goes to visit him, to get that map, the paintings that they focus on. Did you notice this?
Yeah.
What, in my opinion, was creepier than the whole movie.
Yeah.
There were some paintings that you really looked at where you thought, that thing's looking at me.
Whoever's house they shot in, they should have had that guy write the screenplay, probably.
I really thought that those paintings were creepier than the film itself.
The Saudi prince that they eventually go to find out where the Oasis is.
Yeah.
I think he was uncredited. I thought I wrote his name down.
He was uncredited.
I didn't write his name down.
His name
because he was good. Man, talk about
Antonio Mayans. The Sheik. Uncredited.
Because when they age him,
or Mayans,
when they age him 20 years, all they do is give him a mustache and put some gray in his hair. I'm now 20 years older.
Well, that's why I was a little confused with the flashback, because when he went back to go visit his, so-called friend that he killed and then took the map from.
Yeah.
When they did the flashback, he looked exactly the same. They didn't even bother to age him. So I was saying to myself, wait, he's still alive?
And by looked the same, you mean looked like he walked right out of a gay porn. Because porn mustache plus open shirt equals muy macho.
Every male in this movie had an open shirt.
Open
too.
shirt, and then the hero has the father that dies. He's like in the flashbacks, he's a hero, and he dies.
Right.
But he's got the most cultivated porn mustache you see in the film.
Yeah.
Well, most of the guys had mustaches too.
In one way or another.
In one way or another, yeah.
Except for, well, the guy's son. He didn't have one.
Yeah.
And
Well, none of the kids had mustaches.
Right.
The
The ones that go back to the island after they find his father's map, and they said, "Well, it's
Oh,
worth $6 million. Let's go back and get it."
After the Nazi,
what could go wrong?
So after the Nazi hunter kills the kid's father,
Right.
and it goes to the Oasis, and that doesn't end well.
Yeah.
Because again, Nazi gold, nothing ends well.
Right.
I love the fact that he brought a spare girlfriend just in case of zombie attacks.
Yeah.
Just because you don't have to run faster than the zombies. You just have to run faster than your girlfriend.
And what kills me is
Who
that
killed her?
Well, she ran right into them. They're slow-moving zombies.
Panicking women always run into zombie crowds.
Well, you know what? I mean,
that's like when the canary flies into the mirror.
The newer films today, they make the zombies a little more cunning, a little more quick. Back then, they were your classic slow, almost practically brain-dead zombies, and she ran right into them.
Lucky for them, women tend to panic and run into zombie crowds. It happens. It really does.
Well, you know what they say. When a woman walks into a clothing department, they always go left. She ran right left into a zombie.
What?
You never heard of that? The statistic
you're making shit up.
I'm not making that up. They say that
who's they?
Anyone who does statistics. They say I've read. This is what our government spends money on, by the way.
Don't blame the government for your madcap schemes here.
We're not going to go into this deep, but I read a statistic. This is only maybe a year ago.
That women go into a clothing store
or any kind of department store.
Any kind of department store.
I think the number was over 90%. It was closer to 95%.
Turn left.
Turn left. I don't know if the department stores are designed to, lure you to the left when you walk in, but they say that it's over 90%.
I've got a headache.
I apologize.
My God. Oh,
I apologize.
Anyway, women do run into zombie crowds.
They run right into
all
them.
The time.
They think they're running into a department store.
What you were saying before about the dialogue, it's like,
I
tell
awful.
you, nothing beats bad voice acting dubbed over bad acting in a different language.
Yeah.
It's like you're getting bad acting on different levels. Those two girls in the beginning, I can't even get past the beginning because
their mouths are moving at different times.
The actresses are acting poorly.
And that's the joke, but they're acting poorly to begin with.
It has nothing to do with that. So the actors are acting poorly. The body language and their facial expressions, they're acting poorly.
Right.
The voice actors are voice acting poorly. Their inflections are wrong. The delivery is horrible. So, but the bad acting doesn't match other bad acting. So it's very surreal some of the times.
Absolutely.
Now the Nazi soldier, his bad acting, voice and body were perfect. My favorite part was when he drives the Jeep away. When he drives away, but then he parks somewhere else later.
Yeah.
The way they cut it looked like he drove 5 feet and stopped. I'm thinking that was a brilliant escape. And he's screaming, "The living dead! Oh, the living dead! The living dead!"
That. By the way, that's the character that looks like Charles Bronson and Chuck Norris.
Oh yes, no, yeah.
He really does. If you look back at it, it's like Charles Bronson, Chuck Norris, love child.
But he's one of those weird guys too.
And his mustache was weird too because it was so high cut above his lip.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, why even have a mustache?
The whole point of a mustache. Yeah, it's a pencil thin mustache, but on the wrong end.
Yeah, it was terrible. Terrible.
But he's one of those guys where he looks kind of like old and frumpy, and then when they camp and he takes his shirt off, it's like, oh, he'd kick my ass. What? Then again, the girl would have kicked my ass. I mean, I'm not exactly.
And he had his shirt open the whole movie too.
But he had something to show. I mean, he was built.
Oh yeah.
But
you know what?
Yes.
Here's one thing that I have in my notes here. The movie came out in 1981. Okay, it came out years before first-person shooters, the video games and whatnot, even the original Wolfenstein. But they had that one shot where it was a first-person shot from the gun perspective, where you just saw the gun, and it was shooting at.
Really, I didn't catch that part. Was that during the?
It was during the flashback.
That's during the flashback when all the soldiers threw the hand grenades like they were like teenage volleyball players.
Yep, absolutely.
Everyone started at their ankle, threw over. Every one of those grenades should hit them in the forehead when they let go.
Yeah, exactly. Ah! But they had a shot that was first-person shooter perspective.
I missed that.
And just thought to myself, you know, that years before
You know what it is?
first-person shooters
I
were
guarantee
even
you.
popular.
I guarantee that's one of those ingenuity things where they're on location, everybody's pissed off to begin with. It's like, I got an idea. Put the camera right next to in front of the gun. Strap the gun to the camera. Everybody's like, just do it so we can stop filming. You know, like,
Right, exactly.
I guarantee you, Franco just like threw that in there.
Because when they did it in Doom, it so didn't work.
Let's not start talking about.
Well,
Doom
no,
now.
you're right.
Oh
You're
my God.
absolutely right. Let's not go there.
Now, speaking of women running into zombie crowds,
Yeah.
is it in poor taste to use a scene of a woman being eaten alive as an excuse for partial nudity? Because I'm not sure if I'm supposed to be turned on by that or not.
Yeah, no.
I'm thinking I'm not supposed to.
Yeah,
Right?
you're
That's a bad.
absolutely right.
That's a bad boner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so.
Okay,
Yeah,
just checking.
yeah.
Because that was a long scene too. They take her down, and then literally it's like a good 3 or 4 minutes of her half naked, them crawling over, and occasionally pulling out an intestine somewhere.
Yeah, and she's
That's
her just screaming. Ah!
Yeah.
Oh my God. What else do I have here?
My God,
Go for it.
this has got to be the first zombie film I've ever seen, or first horror film I've ever seen with a Wuthering Heights reference.
Oh yeah, the Heathcliff.
Heathcliff. Blah, blah, blah. It's like,
All right, Heathcliff. It's like, oh my God.
now, thank God he at least says, like, you're like Heathcliff in Wuthering Heights. At least he says that.
Yeah,
'Cause, like, Franco really knew his audience. He knew who he was aiming for here. It was
yeah.
no, the kids all love Wuthering Heights. Trust me.
Did you have a favorite zombie?
No Jane Eyre. The guy with the ping pong ball eyes.
Yeah, with the mouth where he just
Yeah.
looks surprised.
You know why he looks surprised? Is because they slapped all this stuff on his face and they're like, now move around. It's like, I can't see.
That's my favorite zombie. The one that with the eyes, then looking surprised, like, oh, I have more people to kill.
Nothing worse than a startled zombie.
Yeah, and you could
It's like
see
a zombie in the headlights.
you could see that there were others. There was one other zombie that they said to do the same thing, and he didn't have. It was just he really just looked like just a normal guy with a little bit of sand on his face, and they said, "Look surprised," and he just went, "Oh," like that, and it just didn't work as well as the first one. And what was with the zombie skull that they kept showing every once in a while?
Well, that was supposed to show like
It was supposed to be obviously an entire zombie, like it was just a skeleton.
because some zombies
Decompose.
decompose and deteriorate at a slower rate than other zombies, depending on how evil of a Nazi they were.
Right.
The skull
Well,
guy.
they never showed an entire full-figured, that zombie where it was just skull and bones. They never showed a
See,
full-figured, because obviously the budget isn't there for
now
that.
see what it is.
But they decided to keep it in, even though it looked terrible.
See, now just look at it this way: back when they were actually Nazis, the Nazi zombie that looks startled,
Right.
he's the one that would go and stick a bayonet in the heads of newborns. Where the skull one was the one to say, I'm just going to go back to the bunker and read a book. You guys have fun. So he's a complicit, but he
Right.
wasn't there, sharpening the bayonet for it. So that's
Right.
So he's a bad Nazi, but he's decomposed quicker because he's a different level of evil.
Okay. All right. I like that analogy. I'll go with that.
You like that?
Yeah, I do.
You shouldn't.
I know. I probably shouldn't. And him being the one that's skull and bones probably means that he's the biggest fucking badass.
No, because it's skull and bones.
Because
He's
they
gonna
kept
kill.
focusing on him like, look at me.
Dude,
I'm fucking
when you've
scarier
only
than the
got-
rest of these zombies.
When you blow,
Because I'm all bones, but I still have an eye that hasn't decomposed
when you
yet.
blow half your special effects budget on one skull with an eyeball, you showcase it. Jesus. And I'm sorry, there are too many fezzes, not enough zombies to begin with
Yeah.
in this film. Actually, I have in my notes here, at one point in the film, I wrote down $10 says the kid with the fez dies first. Then, about 15 minutes later, I wrote, someone owes me $10. So,
Yeah. Definitely.
yeah. Oh, Nazi zombies in the African desert, in the African desert oasis,
Yeah.
don't like sunlight.
No.
Who knew?
Who would have thought? They
Go figure.
come out at night. It's nice and cool at night. So that's probably when I would come out.
Well, yeah,
I mean, who wants to do battle in the sun when it's 120 degrees?
but there's zombies.
Yeah. You're probably
it's
right.
funny.
I mean, they hide in the sand.
It's funny because recently I had someone ask me, are zombies afraid of sunlight? And I said, some Nazi zombies are.
No.
Believe it or not, zombie questions come up in my dialogue with me more often
Right.
than most.
All right, let's see. What else do I have
you,
here?
You said you hated it so much.
I really did hate it.
Oh, what's that noise? Let me investigate. This is the guy's warning. The guy's warning his compatriots. Oh, there's danger here. You wander off in there, and you'll see something. Bad will happen. And then 5 minutes later, they're, you hear something? Let's go look. And then the kid with the fez. You know, the noise of the zombie was like almost like
Right.
the lost smoke monster's noise.
Oh yeah,
It wasn't even that.
Yeah.
It was like they were taking one of those musical instruments with the wood with the slices and just rattling it.
Okay. Favorite line in the movie. I know you said you have two.
I've got two quotes.
I have one, but and we haven't told each other this yet, but I'm pretty sure
I have three.
you have three lines.
I didn't know. I had three.
You know what? I only like one line just because I thought it was great.
Go for it.
My favorite line in the movie is, "Let's get some bottles and make Molotov cocktails
Like in school. That's my second line. It's just so casual. Let's make Molotov cocktails like in school. It's like, man, those Ivy League colleges are fucking tough.
Yeah.
My God.
And I never knew Molotov cocktails exploded when you threw them, because they don't. They don't explode.
They do if you make them right.
Yeah. Okay. What? I mean, I probably will remember it when you say it. But what is your other favorite line?
Well, the other one was before that, where they're digging for the Nazi gold and they find an old gas can,
Right.
and suddenly the one guy's like, "I know gas is expensive, but one jerry can cannot be construed as a treasure."
Oh yeah, I remember that.
It's like, wow.
Yeah.
That's a very erudite put down of a friend. But
Yeah.
usually just like, what are you, a fucking moron? Put down the pickaxe. It's a desert.
And your last one?
The last line of the film.
Everyone died so he can find himself.
Did you find what you were looking for? I mainly found myself. And I'm thinking, oh, and an assload of Nazi zombies.
You know what? I did write that down, but not as a favorite quote. Just that I was just so horrified that everyone he knows he killed or inadvertently killed so he could find himself. Like, you selfish fucking bastard.
Well, this is like Romero. It's like a typical Romero. We need to have some kind of metaphor for the film because the spider's not cutting it. So it's like Romero throwing in the they're us and we're them, or like trying to pretend that the zombie film actually has some kind of basis, philosophical structure.
Exactly.
So at the end, Jesse's like, yeah, no, because this experience he finds himself, and that's the thing. No, he killed his friends.
They're all dead.
Yeah. And
Well, the chick lived.
and he doesn't even have Nazi gold to show for it.
No, they couldn't even find it.
No one found it.
I mean, they had a map.
I don't think there was any gold there.
No, you're probably right. I mean,
I think Epic Costello. No, not Epic Costello.
well, you know what? You know where the Nazi gold was?
Where?
Probably behind that goddamn spider web. They kept focusing on it. Like, if you only walked through here, you'd get the gold.
So in
but because you're all afraid of spiders and not zombies,
So in
you don't
actuality-
get the gold.
in actuality, Oasis of the Zombies is a remake of Edgar Allan Poe's The Golden Bug.
Oh, I never
The
thought
Gold
of
Bug.
that.
Yes.
Yeah, you're probably right.
I'm
with that,
probably
too.
wrong.
No,
Um,
maybe not.
Any other thoughts on that?
I don't think so. Other than I hated it.
Let me run down my notes here.
Let's see what you got.
Yeah. Shooting day for night in the desert must be a bitch.
Well, you know what else? You know what I have?
There's scenes there that either it's daytime and they're trying to make it look like night, or
Well,
it's nighttime and
you
they're trying
kept
to make it
seeing
like day.
like footprints in the sand everywhere too.
Oh.
You know that they were around everywhere.
Oh, and when they kill the blonde, when they drag her down,
Oh, yeah.
apparently they had to shoot stuff later. So there's an insert of her laying on what is obviously a tan tarp with some sand sprinkled on it, and
Oh.
a couple of guys dressed as zombies like wrestling with her, and then it cuts back to her in the desert. There's nothing in those two shots that matches,
Yeah.
except the fact that the basic color is tan. I'm not even sure if it was the same actress.
You're right. You're absolutely right. I remember that now. If you want to talk about, in the desert and doing things in the desert, that one scene where he comes, where the flashback where he's wounded and the one girl takes care of him that he ends up falling in love with, and they have that semi-sex scene out in the middle of the desert in the middle of the day, and the only thing I'm thinking is that's
yeah.
gotta suck. One, to have sex in the middle of the desert, but in probably 120 degree heat. Now I know I'm breaking that down.
That was
a
the
little
most,
bit.
That was the least erotic sex scene,
and it was from
I've
a
ever
distance
seen.
too. I mean,
and she just opens her robe and pretty much says, "Do what you will," and he says, "Okay."
yeah, you got it.
Yeah,
babe.
there was love on that dune, I tell you.
Ugh. I mean,
I
the
did-
whole
I
sex
did-
on the beach thing can be, fun and whatnot, but in the middle of the desert, I don't think so.
I did write it down because they should have changed the credits so the end would be and Antonio Mayans as the Sheik.
Uncredited.
Yes. Now, and also I got to say that at the end of the movie, where it actually says the end.
Yeah.
The end hits the screen like a slap to the face.
Yeah,
it was just. That's right. You just watched this. It was that quick. It was like you dumb son of a bitch. That's right.
And
it's over.
And it's by a French director, and it's a French film essentially. You'd think that it would have a little bit more caress to it, but it's like the end. And then you're right.
They should have hit the screen with that sound. Oh! What was that? It was the end of the film. That hurt. More than the rest of it.
Exactly.
Man, and the also known as, this is one of those films back in the 80s.
Oh yeah, there's a bunch of those.
With video releases, it's done less today.
Yep.
It's still done, but less today.
Well,
back in the 80s, especially the 80s, because the whole video thing was booming.
Yeah.
They would take it when a company would get domestic release rights for a film. Right. They would change the name.
If it's done today, it's to say hide the production, so that things aren't leaked about it.
Yeah.
Well,
it's also done in foreign countries too. We still give different titles for different.
Right, exactly.
But these titles are very drastic. You want to run down some of them?
Yeah, you have.
The original title is.
The original title is, in America, was Oasis of the Living Dead when it came out. Then you have in Italy, the original title was Oasis of the Zombies, but then that became the title of the DVD release when it was released again here.
Right.
Which wasn't that long ago. In the video title, when it finally came to VHS, was Blood-Sucking Nazi Zombies.
Now, how do you not use that title?
I don't know why they didn't bother to do that. I would have loved to. Well, you know what? If anyone can find a boxed copy that says Blood-Sucking Nazi Zombies, I would love to see a picture of that. Or even, send it to me. I would love to have it. Even though I hated the movie, it's just a little piece of...
That's a classic title right there.
Exactly.
Now...
then you have some foreign ones that you translated, so go take it away.
I translated the one that the IMDb did not. It's the West German one, which is Der Abgrund der Lebenden Toten, which I'm mispronouncing, I'm sure.
Probably.
I found a translator, and that is Abyss of the Living Dead People.
Really?
Yes.
Oh my!
Because they're very specific.
Do you have a translation for the French title?
They had that up there,
which is Le Treasure
of the Living Dead.
Vivants.
That's Treasure of the Living Dead.
It is Treasure of the
Living
Dead.
Now, what bothers me is that in the 5 to 10 different names that they had for this film, none of them is Zombie Oasis.
You're right.
That would have been my number one choice. Zombie Oasis.
It's short.
Short as an Oasis of the Zombies.
Yeah, it's short. It probably would have done better if it was that title.
Yeah, I don't think so.
No. Listen, it didn't do well to begin with. Anything of that nature would have done better. It would have had to. That's my prediction.
Get you on the marketing team there.
If I could go back in time, I'd be right.
If I could turn back time.
Don't do that.
Sorry.